Donald Trump responded to the American Muslim who lost his son fighting for the United States of America, and naturally, he made the situation much, much worse.
I saw him. He was, very emotional and probably looked like a nice guy to me. His wife, if you look at his wife, she was standing there. She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have anything to say. You tell me, but plenty of people have written that. She was extremely quiet, and it looked like she had nothing to say. A lot of people have said that.
No, they didn't. This is a classic Donald Trump move. Other people have documented this in a brilliant way, where they show him. He always floats these conspiracy theories and these things that are just flat out not correct. And he gets away with it by pawning off responsibility at the beginning of the sentence. So he goes, many people have pointed out, other people have said that, and then fill in the blank with whatever insane theory it is. And then this way, that makes it so that it's a good rhetorical trick, because it makes it so that the journalist is like, wait, okay, if he didn't say he said it, he's saying other people say it. So it's almost like, I guess, do I blame him for it? Now, obviously, if you're onto the trick, you could just nip it in the bud and say, no, other people aren't saying that. You say it. You just said it. I just heard you say it. So that's what you do. But notice here, Donald, you just proved everybody's criticism of you correct. Because why is he saying that? Like, what does that mean? Oh, maybe his wife wasn't able to speak. I mean, now a lot of people are saying that. Maybe she was in there because she wasn't allowed to speak. Many people have pointed that out. So in other words, he's like, yeah, you know how those Muslims are. They don't let the wife speak. They treat them like property. That's the problem right here. So notice what he did. He took something that, keep it real, call it what it is a real problem in fundamentalist Muslim culture, where, yes, women are not treated equally. Nobody should deny that fact. Nobody should bury that fact. It's true. It's true. Within fundamentalist Muslim culture, yes, women are not treated good. But he takes that, and then what does he do? He uses it to generalize and extrapolate about an American Muslim family, and one in which their son died fighting and defending the country. So, take something bad about fundamentalist Islam, and then just, well, look, I'm just saying, maybe that's exactly what applies to this American Muslim family, where there's no evidence of it, and oh yeah, again, they're parents of this hero kid who died fighting for the country. So blame regular American Muslims for the sins of fundamentalist Muslims, and say any problem in fundamentalist Islam, we're also just going to superimpose and say, I guess American Muslims do this, do the same thing, and they're just as problematic as, the fucking culture in Saudi Arabia. And, hey, but I'm just saying I'm not saying it, a lot of people are saying it, then maybe that's what's happening. God, how loathsome are you, man? You're proving our point. The whole point against you was, look, this guy is a bigot. You want to know why he's a bigot? He generalizes about all Muslims. He assumes, well, they're Muslim. Guilty enough. That's why he came out in favor of, don't take my word for it, go read his statement, it's crystal clear. We need to ban all Muslims from entering the United States of America. A complete and utter, or complete and total shutdown, he said, of Muslims entering the United States. Yes, there's no other way to describe that other than bigoted. That's exactly what it is. Because ISIS exists and Al-Qaeda exists, we will now say all Ahmadi Muslims, all Shia Muslims, all Sufi Muslims, all moderate Muslims, we're going to keep all of you out of the country. And oh yeah, by the way, let me smear the character of a family where the son died fighting for the United States of America. Maybe she wasn't allowed to speak. Other people are saying it. Many people have said it. I'm not saying it. They said it. God, you fucking grotesque bigot. So, what happened in response to this? Well, Khizr Khan came out, and he was asked about this, and here's his rebuttal.
Those two traits of moral compass and empathy are absolutely necessary for the leader of a free world, leader of a nation like United States.
And for all of those viewers out there who are wondering why your wife stood by you silently during the convention.
Her medical condition, she has written an op-ed in her own words, her own voice. Why didn't she speak? I invited her that when you come to this stage, can you say thank you for inviting us? My husband will speak further. She said, you know my condition. When I see my son's picture, I cannot hold myself together. For this candidate for presidency to not be aware of the respect of a gold star mother standing there, and he had to take that shot at her, this is height of ignorance. She is ill. She had high blood pressure. People that know her looked at her face, and she said, I may fall off the stage. And I told her that you have to assemble yourself and stand for the beauty of this tribute that is being paid. This person is total incapable of empathy.
Dude, her son died. Public speaking on its own is not easy for a lot of people. Add in the fact that your son died, you're talking about your son, the picture of your son is right there, you're talking to millions of people, like he says, maybe she had health issues as well. I mean, just to give you guys an example, when my father passed away, I had to give, I gave the eulogy, and I cried through probably 60 to 70% of it. And this is coming from somebody who's obviously familiar with public speaking. So it's a lot easier for me than it is for a lot of other people. But even with that, because of the gravity of the situation, I'm talking about a dead loved one, I cried. In fact, I'm sure there were parts of it where people couldn't even understand what the fuck I was saying. I also cried. I mean, I had to give a best man speech at one of my best friend's weddings. I cried through that too. Like a little bitch. Like a little bitch. So, and again, this is somebody who, I'm familiar with public speaking, so it's somewhat easier for me, and I was as I'm trying to talk. And here you have somebody, this poor woman probably has she's never done public speaking before. It doesn't come easy to a lot of people. She's scared. She's overflowing with emotions. It was hard enough for him to give the statements that he did. He kind of choked up at a few points. And Donald Trump has the nerve to go out there and say, well, maybe she wasn't allowed to speak because you know how those Muslims are. Did I say it? Other people have said it. It's beyond loathsome. And then, by the way, you know what else happened as a result of this? She went on one of the Sunday shows, forgive me for not remembering which one, and she tried to pull herself together and talk. And he says she also wrote an op-ed, whatever the case is. But she came on one of the shows and spoke about everything. And it's like, dude, Trump just trolled these poor people into coming more into the spotlight. And now she has to talk. She didn't want to talk to begin with, obviously. Now, thankfully, as he said, a lot of good people have, flooded them with support and everything. But man, what a vile person Trump is. It's true. It's true that he doesn't have empathy. We didn't cover the story. It didn't make the cut for the show. But it's interesting that the person who really wrote The Art of the Deal, the ghostwriter for The Art of the Deal, he's like, yeah, I had to follow Trump around for however long it was, a month or a few months or whatever. And he's like, what I saw was a genuine sociopath, a psychopath, a crazy person. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. This is not me. Inherent in my criticism here, a lot of people wrongly take away from it. Well, then he's praising Hillary. That's what he's doing. He's praising Hillary. No, I'm not. I despise Hillary too, dude. You know nothing about secular talk. She's horrific. So don't get that impression. Don't do whatabouteries, people are now calling it. I'm attacking Trump. Yeah, what about Hillary? Yeah, we'll have a conversation about Hillary at some point, and I'll bash the fuck out of her too. But right now we're talking about Trump. And the bottom line is with Trump, I think that stuff is true. I think he is a sociopath. I think he is beyond narcissistic in a way that he cares about himself to the exclusion of everybody else. And he has no self-control and he has no ability to feel empathy or to bite his tongue and use his filter for just a split second in the most obvious situation. They lost their fucking son who fought for the United States of America. And this idiot goes out there and says, well, why didn't she speak? Maybe she didn't speak because she's not allowed to speak. Because, again, you know how those Muslims are. Nobody should deny that there's a problem with fundamentalist Islam and the treatment of women. That's an issue on its own, and we can talk about that, and that's a long conversation to have. But to assume that an American Muslim family that lost their son fighting for this country, that she wasn't speaking because they're probably just like a lot of Salafi maniacs in Saudi Arabia, that's exactly the kind of bigotry that we said you had from the beginning and you denied, but here, yet again, you prove it.